He had a secretary, Sylvia Agaloff. She was from Brooklyn, and he really liked her a great deal. And Sylvia Agaloff became engaged to a young fellow by the name of Frank Jackson. She had met him in Paris. Frank Jackson was very interesting. He had no job, but he always had plenty of money. And mysteriously, nobody ever asked him why he had all this money and no job. He would always come to Trotsky with some half-finished manuscripts that he would ask for criticism of, and Trotsky was very willing to give him this criticism. Jackson was a mountain climber, and he had practiced all around Mexico City, and he had used an ice axe pretty clearly, but he wasn't going to use it for climbing mountains this time.
In fact, he was Ramón Mercader, an OPGU agent's son, and in the pay of the Soviet Secret Service himself.
In fact, his mother was a revolutionary who parked her car outside of the home of Trotsky in August of 1940, preparatory to taking the assassin away from the scene of his crime. Well, that afternoon, Frank Jackson walked in with a manuscript. Then he and Trotsky came into the study and closed the door behind them. Mrs. Trotsky heard loud arguments and suddenly a thud. She and the bodyguards rushed through the door into the study. Mercader had aimed a blow at Trotsky's head. He hit him in the brain and, according to his later testimony, heard the longest, loudest scream he had ever heard in his life. He thought that that would take care of Trotsky. It didn't. Trotsky, like Rasputin, reared up, ran through the door, and collapsed in the next room in his wife's arms. The bodyguards set upon Mercader and beat him terribly. But Trotsky stopped them, and he said, "Don't. He has a story to tell."
Trotsky would never hear it. He died 26 hours later. Ramón Mercader spent the next 20 years in a Mexican jail under pleasant circumstances negotiated between socialist Mexico and the Soviet Union.